Hello and welcome to the Commission Files. I'm Will Leach. We're recorded at Commission Christian Radio in Dundonald outside Belfast. And let's go on a bit of a musical journey, shall we?
The dark night of my soul comes unexpected, creeping round my door. Will you sing your song to me when I don't feel like singing anymore? For a song can lift the heart and silence the soul's enemies that roar, giving me the chance to start when I don't feel like singing anymore. Even songbirds can go unheard. When morning breaks, they can't bring in the dawn. But then a call comes from a strong one, and they find the strength again to sing along.
Isn't that beautiful? It's called When I Don't Feel Like Singing Anymore. And on our journey, we're going from folk to Americana with vocals of heartbreaking purity and songwriting from the heart about all things from love won and lost, joy and despair, happiness and pain, to family, to landscape, to sunshine and rain, from Derry's walls to anywhere. And songs about learning to love God, talking simply with Jesus, and reflecting on how he changes our lives. My guest is someone I've wanted to chat with for ages. She's seriously talented. So a big Commission Files welcome to our very own Eilidh Patterson. Eilidh, welcome to you and your guitar. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's lovely to be here.
Does she have a name, your Avalon?
No, actually, but I think she is female. Yeah.
Always had that feeling somehow, yeah. Let's start, so everybody can enjoy it, with a song here in the studio. What are you going to sing?
Well, I'm going to start with God Has a Plan. This is a song that I wrote when I was at a real transition point in my life. I had been living and working in Belfast, and I had a day job during the day, and I was doing music at night and really kind of burning the candle at both ends. And I came to a point where things started to crumble and fall apart. And this song was kind of written at that point where things were beginning to crumble. And I knew that somewhere deep down that God would work it all out. But in the moment, it felt very scary. So I wrote this song, really as a kind of lullaby to myself, to calm myself down. And, at concerts, it's been one of the songs that people like to hear.
Let's hear it.
Oh, it's easy to slip under when faith is hard to find, when the truth gets cast asunder, it messes with your mind, and in the dark you fall apart and wonder what went wrong, wonder where do you belong. God has a plan, and it's not for harm. He said he'd wrap you safe inside his arms, and though the clouds you can't see through, somewhere the sun is shining and the sky is ever blue. God has a plan, and it's not for harm. most dreaded is happening right now, and all the faith I had before this seems swallowed up somehow. I've lost the fight to find a light that'll take away my fear. Need to trust that He is here, and God has a plan, and it's not for harm. He said He'd wrap me safe inside His arms, and though the clouds I can't see through, somewhere inside my heart His love is ringing true. God has a plan, and it's not for harm. When you pray and don't get what you're hoping for, still He has a plan beyond that closing door. When you've tried everything and you don't know what to do, you can trust in Him, He will see you through. God has a plan, it's not for harm. He said He'd wrap you safe inside His arms, and though the clouds you can't see through, somewhere the sun is shining and the sky is ever blue. Somewhere inside my heart His love is ringing true. God has a plan, and it's not for harm.
From the 2019 album Journeymaker, Eilidh Patterson with God Has a Plan, performing live and very acoustically in Studio 2 at Commission. And that was just lovely, Eilidh. Thank you. It's full of truths, that song. You know, it's God's plan, not for harm.
Yeah, well, it's a truth that is eternal, and I think whenever our circumstances can fall apart, which they do regularly for all of us, it's lovely to hold on to the lifeline of eternal truth. And I think that was the truth that God was wanting me to dwell on at that point in my life, and it was a real lifeline for me.
It's a very, and we're going to come over this again and again, I suspect, in our conversation, it's a very confessional song. You're writing about stuff that happens to you, which not every writer does.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think my songwriting from the moment I started writing songs has been quite confessional, and I think it's like it's almost like I'm journaling in public. And I don't know why that is, but it's very therapeutic for me, and it doesn't cost me as much as people think it costs me to be so honest, because for me, seeking truth and honesty in songwriting is what I've always wanted. So it helps me to write this way, and from what I've heard, audiences really like to hear about my journey and to hear the specifics of my journey, because I think the more specific I am about myself, the more that people can relate.
I introduced you as a singer-songwriter. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, I'm a singer-songwriter. Yeah, I guess that is kind of what people would see me as. I'm also a lot of other things.
How important is it to you? Is it the most important thing to be singing, to be writing, to be performing, to be touring? Is that the essence of who you are, what you're put on earth to be?
I do feel like it's a vocation and a calling in some ways. In the past, in my 20s, I was very, very ambitious. And I remember thinking, oh, this is my thing. I'm going to make a name for myself. And it was all kind of I put a lot of pressure on myself to succeed quickly. But the more that I've grown into it, I realise it's a long game, and it's one that I'm happy to take at my own pace now. And I've settled into it in a way, like a comfy armchair. And I just feel that, yes, it is a calling, but then, as you grow older, other responsibilities come into your life and other things come into your life, which I do as well. But I don't think I'll ever give up music. I think it'll always be there. But sometimes it's my main thing and sometimes it's not, but it will always be there.
Where's your happy place? Is it when you're in studio listening back to something with colleagues and collaborators and thinking, this is really going to work and this sounds amazing? Because if I do some radio and put it together, I'm never happier than when I think I've made it work.
Yeah, I don't know. Studios for me can be quite stressful. Like I really enjoy getting my songs recorded, but to me, because I'm such a perfectionist, I'm never truly happy with my recordings, which I know I should be. I am proud of the work I've put out there, but it's there's always things that I notice that, I wish I'd done that different.
Well, that's normal. That's normal human paranoia.
Yeah.
Those of us who buy your songs are very happy
Well,
with what you
thank
produce in the studio.
But I think my happiest moments are when I'm on stage in front of an audience. That's when I feel most at peace and most like I'm in the centre of what I'm supposed to be doing. So I really feel like connecting with an audience is my biggest joy.
Were you a shy wee girl or were you a performer?
I was a performer from day one. I either wanted to be a gymnast, an actress or a singer. So...
Tell us about your upbringing.
I'm the youngest of three girls and I grew up in a very musical household. We all played music from a young age, and interestingly my parents didn't have a TV in our house when we were growing up because they felt like they wanted us to do other things more creatively, and so they always encouraged us to play music. And sometimes we get called in from the street. I'd be out in my roller boots in the street and it'd be like, Eilidh, singing time, at 7 o'clock at night. And we would all kind of sing together for half an hour as a family. So that was I suppose it was a unique thing at the time, but I didn't think anything of it really. I just thought, I'm going to learn how to sing a high harmony tonight, But it was a lovely way to kind of foster the sense of music and also to develop my ear as a musician. It was a great thing to be singing in close harmony with my family. So then in my teens, I ended up being part of a gospel trio with my dad and my sister. And that was my first experience of performance. And so we would perform around all the gospel halls in Northern Ireland as the Patterson family. And I would have been kind of the lead singer of that and really enjoyed performing and got more into the songwriting end of things as we started performing some of my dad's songs, and I thought, I want to do that, So really, out of all of my family, I was the last person to write a song, to pick up an instrument, because I was the youngest. So I had all these people in front of me who'd done it before, so it felt like the most natural thing in the world to do music.
You'll have seen some wee halls in your time.
Yeah, yes.
And parked in some car parks and up shocks and heaven knows where else.
Yeah, exactly.
To go and sing.
It was a real good training ground for me as a teenager. And then I think I wrote and released my first music when I was about 19, maybe 20. And then that was the start of my kind of own path that I wanted to create.
I have loads of questions for you about that. But a happy family home. You're a Derry girl.
I am, yes. And interestingly, one of the actual Derry girls lived on my street during the filming of the series.
No!
That's my one claim to fame. Yeah.
Apart from the fact that you have a career doing this.
Yeah, so it was great fun. But yeah, so I've grown up in Derry most of my life. I've been there since the age of 4, so I really do consider it my home.
A busy family home, a happy family home. What did you sing together when it was singing time?
Well, it was mostly kind of worship music or Christian music, or sometimes some Irish and Scottish folk songs. My dad was really into all different kinds of folk music, and so he had written songs in that genre and then also written gospel songs. And so, we just kind of sat around and sang. And my eldest sister used to get the high harmony, and I used to be jealous of her because I was stuck with the melody with mum and dad. And then when she moved out, I got the high harmony and I was delighted.
It's not the bedroom, it's the high harmony.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not like other families, let me tell you. No TV, but I bet there were radios. I bet you listened to a lot of radio and there was a lot of musical influences on you, such as...
Yeah, we had vinyl in the house. We had a record player that we used to play lots of records on, like people like Joan Baez and Anne Murray and, you know, we'd Pavarotti, we'd like all different things in the house, you know, folk artists like Peter, Paul and Mary and Joni Mitchell and people like that. And then because I was the youngest of three girls, of course, I always looked up to my sisters and what they were listening to. So anything that they listened to, I wanted to listen to. And so I was influenced by, you know, kind of CCM music, which is like Christian contemporary music coming out in Nashville in the 90s. And it was all great. There was this artist called Susan Ashton that I loved so much. Still love her. I think she's amazing. And I have nearly all of her records. I love the songs behind, you know, the songs that she chose were amazing. And then I developed my own style because I fell in love with bluegrass music towards my late teens, and Alison Krauss became a massive influence on me.
Yeah.
So I have every single one of her albums. So I just loved it. Trisha Yearwood was the first album that I ever bought for myself. I was like 12 or 13 and it was the first CD that I bought for myself, and I still have it. It was called Everybody Knows.
You see, that's a proud story. I can't ever admit the first vinyl album I bought because it's so embarrassing. I was very young. But I'm not going to tell you. Let's hear some music for a few moments. Let's hear from the 2018 album Sunshine, and it's a song which resonates with me because, frankly, it really gives me a lift some mornings. Here's A Good Day.
Early morning sunbeams pushing through the clouds, coming through these curtains, wipe away my frown. Yesterday is over, I can leave the past behind, 'cause this new day is dawning, no worries on my mind, yeah, yeah. Oh, share of sad things, been through a lot of pain. I have listened to the critics, got wet under that rain, but it's time I start believing the truth instead of lies, and get myself a little backbone, try not to compromise, yeah, yeah. Oh,
That was A Good Day from Eilidh Patterson, who is my guest. You grew up in a family singing gospel songs. Were you a faith family? Tell me your faith journey.
Yeah,
I know there's a few chapters to this, but...
Yeah, so I grew up in a mixed... My parents have a mixed marriage. So my mother grew up in the Catholic faith and my dad grew up in the Protestant faith. And so both of those strands fed into my life throughout my life. But, you know, despite them going to different churches, they have always had similar values. And I think that's what kept us all together. I feel like both of those strands just really fed into my own faith. I think there's so many good things about both traditions that can integrate into, you know, your own faith. Because at the end of the day, I feel like everybody's faith is a personal thing. Your tradition can feed into it, but really at the end of the day, it's between you and God. So since I was about 15 or 16, I've always felt like I was on my own path with God, and it didn't matter kind of what church I went to, but as long as my own path with God was secure.
It's interesting because people can sing Christian music, gospel music, and it's words. Other people can sing them and mean them. Mm-hmm. And it's only looking back often you can work out from yourself if you meant them when you were singing them. Mm. But it was such a huge influence in your life.
Well, songs were like sermons to me. You know, when I took them to heart, you know, I really did. So I would have taken, real old gospel songs, like, when peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows come, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. That is a song of faith right there, that no matter what happens in life, we can say it as well with our soul because Christ is in us. And, those songs really do speak to me louder than most other things.
So you knew you wanted to be a singer, and then you worked on the career in your 20s, and you went some distance and went some places and did some things.
Yeah, I mean, I've been really fortunate and blessed to have had really great experiences. I've been to Nashville, I think, about 16 times over the last number of years.
I thought you'd been once.
I've been to South by Southwest in Austin, Texas 3 times, performed there. Celtic Connections in Glasgow and Folk Alliance in Memphis, Tennessee. And I was invited one time away out to Seattle, Washington to attend a kind of songwriting retreat. And it was, an all expenses paid trip with these songwriters from a record label in Nashville. And we each got our own little cabin in the hills. And mine had a little jacuzzi and everything outside with a river rushing by. And I thought, what, how did this happen? So, sometimes you just get given these gifts and it's amazing. And then other times you get long stretches of nothing happening and you think, am I actually on the right path? What's happening here? So it's a very up and down life, and you just enjoy the good moments when they come and, steel yourself for the quieter periods,
When you're thinking to yourself, yeah, I've still got to make a living here, and it's been a while since something happened, is very, very common if you're any kind of performing artist. You're listening to The Commission Files. Time for a quick break.
Commission presents An Angel Told Me, a series of 4 programmes by Gloria Kearney.
Raquel, you look as though you have something on your mind. Are you all right, my dear?
Well, Michael, I'm not sure. It's hard to define it. It's as though someone has rung a bell, and everyone knows what it means except me.
Raguel finds out more about God's great plan for a small blue planet far away, a plan that will change that world. You can hear the series An Angel Told Me and others being added every month from the same place you found The Commission Files, or just search for Commission Drama wherever you get your podcasts.
This is The Commission Files with Will Leach, and I'm chatting with and enjoying the music of singer-songwriter Eilidh Patterson. There was an album in Nashville when you were sort of around 30. Was that a seminal moment? Was that a big, important album to make? Because I love it, by the way.
Yeah.
You've realised now I have them all. So that's Tell me about that.
That was a really great opportunity. I got some funding from the Arts Council of Northern Ireland, and because I'd been to Nashville so many times, I'd built up a bunch of contacts and friends and people that I could call on to bring together to create an album in Nashville and to do it on a budget, So I went out there, and there was this guy that I'd met called Lee Holland, who was this absolutely virtuoso guitar player and drummer, and also a producer. And as soon as I saw him play and heard the kind of music he made, I said, I want you to produce my album. So he was happy to do it, which was great. And then his friend owned a studio on Music Row in Nashville. And I said, what? I'm getting to record in Music Row with all the other big, massive MCA studios and RCA studios. And then we recorded in this little basement on Music Row, but it was still Music Row. And it was amazing. It was a great experience. So we just worked really hard. I think 12 days for 12 songs we just did. We just really kind of did all the tracking, did all the vocals, did everything. While I was there, I decided to just reach out to people on my wish list who I would love to be part of the album, but didn't expect that they would ever be part of it. But I thought, you know what? If you don't ask, you don't have. So I contacted Tim O'Brien, who is, really like Nashville royalty in terms of folk music. And he was more than happy to come in and sing and play his fiddle on my album, which was amazing. And then Ron Block from Alison Krauss's band, he came in. And Julie Lee, whose voice is just like a bird, she came in and sang a harmony. And so my friends really came in, and then these people that I'd asked were more than happy. And that's what I found in Nashville in general, was that people are so generous with their time and their talent. They don't kind of look down on you if they haven't heard of you, you know. They really treat you like an equal, and it's a business out there. It's all about, well, you know, you're making an album, let me be part of it, you know. So there was no ego involved, and it was just lovely to see that. Yeah,
what an amazing opportunity and what an amazing experience. There's 3 quotes on your website, and they say things like, her vocals wrap around you like a blanket in winter, which I agree with. And another says, this is music made by a person who's been broken and remade, not merely someone who's trying to write songs. And it's back to that thing we were talking about you writing confessionally, about what happens to you. Because after you did that album, it all went wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I know. So it was funny, you know, because I had lived in the centre of Belfast for a number of years, and about 6 months before things fell apart, I had decided to move to Edenderry, which is a little village on the outskirts of Belfast. Really pretty, beautiful place, really quiet. And it was the first time that I was ever going to just live on my own. And I thought, oh, new opportunity, this is great. You know, I'm the age now where I should be kind of in my own place. And I remember driving into Edenderry, and there was a road sign there that I'd never seen before. And I haven't seen it since. And it said, change priorities ahead. And I just knew that this was God saying to me, you know, things are going to be a bit rocky for a while, but I'm going to shift things on the inside for you to make you, to kind of release you into a new life. And I knew that something needed to happen, because I had been burning the candle at both ends for many years, and I had been running from things that were happening on the inside. And I knew that God was wanting to do some soul surgery on me. And I wanted my priorities to be changed. So in some ways I submitted to that, and ended up just taking time away from music, time away from my job. I had to leave my job in Belfast. I gave up music, and it was really painful to shelve that album that I just made in Nashville, because I really wanted to tour with it, but I just wasn't able to. I was really suffering from anxiety and burnout, and I just had to move home, and it was very humbling at the age of 30 to do that.
And we're not talking about a difficult month or a difficult winter. We're talking about a few years.
Yeah, it was several years of real intense anxiety where I couldn't actually work or do any music. And that was really difficult to deal with. But, you know, I always feel like God allows these things in our lives to... He doesn't just allow them, he means for them to happen, because he loves us so much that he wants to work things out for us so that we're not suffering for the rest of our lives on a certain path. You know, he wants us to be healed and restored and standing on solid ground. And I knew that's what I needed. So it was a difficult process, but I really did find the truth that set me free at the end of it. And now my life is so much brighter and so much better than it could have been.
Eilidh, you can sometimes write very sad songs indeed, and I'm relieved to hear you say, I'm okay.
Yeah.
They're beautiful, but if they're about your heartbreaking, let me tell you, some of them have nearly broken my heart on occasion when I listen and think, oh. So from that album, This Is Now, this is Thought You'd Be Mine.
Thought you'd be mine. I thought you were true. I thought love was blind, but now I see you, and I can't that I didn't see that part of yourself guess you were right. I guess I was wrong, and it hurts to lose. I thought I was strong, but I'm falling down, coming apart, losing my way, breaking my heart. Now there's just a stone where I used to be. Once we were two. Now there's just me. Well, I thought you'd be mine. I thought you were true. I thought love was blind, but now I see you.
Thought You'd Be Mine from Eilidh Patterson from the 2011 album Made in Nashville, This Is Now. So you've told us 3 very difficult years or so and then light at the end of the tunnel, a recovery. What put Christ at the centre?
It's funny. It was a very slow journey. I mean, like I said, it was over years. It wasn't over months, and so it was a gradual realization that for years I had been striving so hard to create an identity of Eilidh Patterson, singer-songwriter, that I had lost the core of who I was essentially. And you know, who we are essentially when we are believers are just a child of God. Christ in me, me in Christ. Like, that should be our kind of core identity. And I felt like I had made being a singer-songwriter more than that. And it was a very weak foundation to be standing on because it fluctuated so much. I had to drill down into the basics of my faith and discover, okay, Eilidh, like, what do you actually believe? You know, what do I know that I know that I know that I know? And it's not just mentally assenting to something. It's, what do I know to be true? What do I know that I can stand on? You know, what is true for me? And really, whenever I came to that, it was really that I knew that God was God. I knew that the Bible was 100% true. And that's where I started. So I started reading the Bible a lot more. I started listening to sermons about our identity, about Christ in us. And gradually I realised that my faith previously had been built upon my belief in God and not what he had actually done for me on the cross. And it was such a subtle, tiny difference, and yet what a massive effect it had had on my life. And I realised that, you know, Christ accomplished everything for us on the cross, and therefore I can rest and relax in his love for me. And I'd never really done that. I still was trying to prove myself to God in my faith because it was based on my performance and not on what he had done. So once that foundation was solidified in my life, then that was the thing that I needed to kind of grow from. And that was from the ground up. That was the core kind of thing that happened to me. It was like a journey from independence to dependence on God, a journey from achieving for God to receiving from God. You know, it was just a massive shift. And really, that has been the thing that has made me recover and brought me back to life, really.
Was there a day when you picked up the guitar again or blank sheet of paper and started to write lyrics again? Because that must have been a big moment, or was it easy to do? Or
Yeah, I mean, the first song I wrote after, having come to this revelation was When I Don't Feel Like Singing Anymore, because that song was really saying thank you to my friends and my family who were calling out the true me whenever I'd forgotten who I was, They were the ones saying to me, we know who you are, Eilidh, even though I didn't, And it was like such a relief to get to that stage where I could sing again,
will you sing another song for us now?
Yes, no problem.
What do you want to sing?
I want to sing Upside Down Kingdom because this song is kind of a culmination of my journey in so many ways. It's like what I would call my testimony song, because I've been through a long and hard and arduous journey, and really what I've found to be true is that by focusing our minds on what Christ has done is what lifts us out of the mire and sets our feet on the rock. Yeah, it's freedom in Christ.
Let's hear it.
To love is to give, to die is to live, to let go is the way to move on. Sometimes the shortest way to the heights is the path that seems lonely and long. And sometimes God sends a prison when you've prayed so long to be free. But there in that place, you'll find that His grace is sufficient for every need. Oh, whoever heard of a fight being won by surrendering down on your knees? And who would have thought that the way to be strong is acknowledging weakness and need? And what about earning all that is good, to be told you just have to receive? Well, this is the upside down kingdom of God, and how Jesus is saving me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We make our plans, think we'll give God a hand in the hard task of leading us through. He patiently waits till things fall apart and we cry out, Lord, what will we do? His answer comes just when we need it, wrapped up in the gift of His peace. And just like a child, we can laugh, we can smile, 'cause His presence is all that we need. Oh, whoever heard of a fight being won by surrendering down on your knees? Who would have thought that the way to be strong is acknowledging weakness and need? And what about earning all that is good, to be told you just have to receive? This is the upside down kingdom of God, and how Jesus is saving me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So I'll focus my mind on eternal things, let go of the ways in which this world thinks. Know that my home is in heaven above. might being won by surrendering down on your knees. Who would have thought that the way to be strong is acknowledging weakness and need? And what about earning all that is good, to be told you just have to receive? Well, this is the upside down kingdom of God, and how Jesus is saving me.
Upside Down Kingdom from the 2020 album Safe Place, and that's Eilidh Patterson. You've mentioned where that song came from and how counterintuitive God can be when we've lost sight of him, and then we grasp again. And from the world's point of view, everything's back to front. So it's a very clever lyric, the Upside Down Kingdom.
Thank you. Yeah, it's but it really is. You know, we almost have to do a flip in our minds, because we're getting fed the opposite of what we should be thinking every day. You know, we're getting fed all the time through social media, through the TV, through everything, and even just through conversations with people. You know, and we have to train our minds to think on heavenly things and not on things on the earth, because we belong in Christ above all of that. And from there, we can live our lives according to the Spirit and not according to the world, you know?
And suddenly the requests you're getting have changed a little bit too, because people, they know about your folk and Americana background, but they're also saying, will you come to this conference and sing your Christian songs? Will you come to this festival and do that? And that's a big change, isn't it?
It's a big change, yeah, because, I mean, I started out being a gospel singer with my family, and then went on this journey of folk Americana music, which I feel, you know, is the right genre for me to be able to exist and write songs in. But then I had this message that suddenly wanted to burst forth from me. And the thing was that I had started writing all these songs on Journeymaker and Safe Place as I was going through my journey, because I wanted to, it was a way of documenting what I was going through. And I didn't really expect to record them. But then, you know, this opportunity landed on my lap of, I was given a gift of being able to record these in Glasgow with a fantastic engineer. And I also had the encouragement of family and friends saying, you know, other people will benefit from these if you record them.
You need to do this,
yes,
Eilidh.
Yeah, people were telling me to do it. And I thought, well, you know, I'll record them anyway, but I doubt anybody will listen. I got them recorded, and I'm really glad I recorded them, because to me, it's like a snapshot of that period in my life where everything changed for me, you know, and I can now look at those albums and think, right, that's when it all changed, and I will never go back to the way I was. You know, it's like a stake in the ground for me. So it doesn't mean that I'll always write Christian music from here on in, but it means I'm free to write whatever comes to me to write, and I don't have to be boxed in one way or another, you know.
Whatever Eilidh's feeling or thinking about. Oh, don't stop writing confessionally, please. I know I don't have to worry about you. I want to be listening. You're still touring, and you're just back from a tour. Tell me about that.
Yes, I'm just back from touring with Eddie Reader, who is an amazing Scottish artist, as you know. She has had such an amazing career from 40 years ago, really, and she had that song Perfect with Fairground Attraction, which the audience has loved every night. But she has such a variety of music that it was such a joy to watch her every night perform, because she basically doesn't write a set list. She just goes by what she wants to do every night. So it was like a new show for me every night, getting to see her. But I got to play support, and her audience were really appreciative of my music, and that was a great joy for me as well.
She's an immensely strong character. I have an album where she sings the songs of Robbie Burns, and it's just joyous.
Yeah.
And very irreverent at times, and just fantastic. I once saw her in London sing along with Kate Rusby, where Kate said, "Are you in the audience, Eddie?" And she climbed down across some barrier from where the audience sat, to embarrassed kids, and went and stood on stage and sang with her, just completely in the spur of the moment. So
yeah.
I can imagine what a time you must have had touring with her, with her band.
She is incredible. She's a real genius. I don't think there has ever been anyone like her, or never will be. You know, I think she just really she lives and she sings from the heart, and I think it was just an education to watch her every night. It really was.
So have you a song in your head you're about to write, one you're going to do soon? Is it folky? Is it Americana? And you think, I don't know, it's just in there and it is what it is?
I have several songs that are kind of almost finished, and they're all different styles. It's funny, I've got this like bluesy gospel number. I've got a Scottish folk number. I've got another very sad song, which you'll be pleased to hear. And, and I've got some pop songs. Yeah, so I've got all of these different genres, because when I start to write a song, it's almost like the melody attaches itself to the idea or the lyric, and it attaches itself in such a way that it's like, I want to be a blues song, or I want to be a pop song, and I just go with that flow. So it's not like I necessarily choose genres. It's just, they just seem to fit best.
As folk are starting to listen to this, there's jingle bells in the air, the weather's colder, Christmas is very nearly upon us. Do you have plans? You going to be with family at Christmas?
Yes, actually, for whatever reason, my entire family we've all ended up living together after like all these years.
Oh, that's not a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it is. It's not easy, but it's also lovely. There's something really wholesome about it, and it's hard at times, but it's great. So we're all going to be together, like we always are, every day.
Well, Eilidh, it's been a pleasure to go on this musical journey with you. Thank you for joining me on the Commission Files.
Thanks for having me.
All of us here at Commission want to wish you every blessing as you press on with your musical life, your career, your new musical horizons. Many more gigs and tours and albums and collaborations to come, I hope. I think we left everyone hanging at the start of this episode, so I want to finish with the rest of that lovely song from Eilidh's album Sunshine, the song When I Don't Feel Like Singing Anymore. And aren't we glad that's not the case? In case you did wonder what Eilidh concludes, here's the answer.
There's a stillness deep inside, the kind that's at the center of a storm, like a part of me has died when I don't feel like singing anymore. But even songbirds carry onwards when their dreams of waking up the world are done. They hear a new song, it makes their wings strong, and once more they join in welcoming the sun. Oh, I'm a songbird, feathers unfurled, but I don't even have the strength to soar. So come and sing low by my window when I don't feel like singing anymore. Oh, come and sing low by my window when I don't feel like singing anymore.
My thanks to Eilidh Patterson. Go and find her at eilidhpatterson.com. If you use a popular music streaming service, she's there. And folks, Eilidh is Eilidh. All right? Thanks to all of you for clicking play, and to the subscribers who download every episode faithfully. If you've just found us, do click subscribe or follow show so you don't miss anything. You can learn more about Commission through our website, commissionradio.org. You'll find links to our YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook and LinkedIn pages. There's a jolly nice wee photo of Studio 2 in here. Don't worry, I'm not in it. I was in fact balancing on a cupboard at the back of the room to take it, and that was fine, right up until it was time to climb back down again safely. If you're listening to us shortly after we recorded this in late 2025, do enjoy the build-up to Christmas. Have a lovely, peaceful and meaningful celebration of the coming of Christ the Saviour. Back soon in time for the new year. Until then, bye-bye.